Hello everyone, it's Terry from Everything Homestead. It's time to make some kindling for the wood stove for use during winter time. These are the little things I'm going to show you how I make. It's nice to have them to start the fire in the wood stove during the winter. When the fire goes out for whatever reason in the winter time, it gets really cold and you really want that fire to start up and get you warm. And having these things available makes the whole fire lighting experience go much faster. It's well worth the time. It takes me a couple of hours. I got a box here that I like to fill up, in this box, when it's full, usually lasts me the whole winter. I'll show you a little closer shot of it in a little bit, but there's probably going to be a couple hundred of these little things, and when I light a fire I probably use 3 or 4 of them to light the fire. Usually I try to keep my fire going all night long, and in the morning I can just throw some more wood in and it keeps going. Once in a while it burns out, and these things come in handy. These also work really well if you got a campfire outside, want to roast some marshmallows, grab some of these, get your fire going, get those marshmallows going, make good drumsticks. So a couple things you need to get together. What I use is I have a little hatchet. I sharpen it up with a hand file so it's nice and sharp. And I have a couple other items. I have a splitting wedge and like about a 3-pound hammer, I believe, to use on this. And let me show you how I get this going. A couple other things you need to have on hand are some safety glasses. I just happen to have some safety glasses that look a lot like they might be reading glasses, and coffee, got to have that on hand. It's a beautiful day to do this, so I'm going to do it now. So let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So what I have, this is a piece of birch. You can use whatever wood is abundant in your neck of the woods, no pun intended. Some people like to use some pine, whatever lights up easier. Doesn't necessarily have to burn for a long time, just needs to get the fire going. So for me, I happen to have some birch on hand. This happens to be somewhat dry, so once I split it into these smaller pieces, it'll dry out even more, which makes it easier to light. So let me show you what I do. Set it here. I'll put on my safety glasses. You always want to make sure to do everything you can not to cut yourself. This is a sharp edge. This is a hammer. This is another sharp edge. Just take every precaution not to have to send yourself to the emergency room. So I take this wedge. I'll just start by putting it right in the middle. Put my hand in a safe spot so I won't hit it with a hammer. This thing's heavy enough that it splits through these pieces pretty well. I like to use this to get started because it gets through these bigger pieces a lot quicker than if I have to sit there with this little thing. There's no weight to this, so there's not much force going through these bigger pieces. Once these pieces get a little smaller, then this thing goes through a lot easier. So for the first couple blows, I'll be using this splitting wedge. You can tell it's kind of dry when these pieces of wood get to the point where they just fall apart real easy. That's a nice sign that they're dry. Probably one more split with this. Really nice. Okay. Set those aside. So I'm gonna pick up this smaller piece that I just did. I'll take this. Here's where you got to be a little careful, because you don't want to be holding with this hand, taking this hand, and you're going like this, because there's a really good chance you're going to come up missing a finger. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to set it on here. Either, what I like to do is put my feet around the base and take a swing, a short swing, just to get it started, and then just tap it into the ground. I'm sitting on a cement pad, so I've got something hard to pound against. Then you just pound it or tap it through with the sharp edge and the 1 pound or so weight of this. It goes through this pretty easily. and I end up with a piece looking about like that. Now you see there's a narrow end and a wider end, and ideally I'd like to get that split in half again. But if you think about it, if I try going on this end, that's a really small target. So I'm going to take the wider end, set that on the ground carefully. I'm going to set the blade of the hatchet right on there. I'm going to lift it up and set it down. Lift it up and set it down until the hatchet starts going in. You see how it's starting to go in there? I keep my hand away as much as I can. As soon as it's going to hit the ground, I get my hand out of the way, push it down. I got a nice little piece of kindling, drumstick, whatever you want to call it. So you can see I got this piece left. It's not bad like that. I'm going to see if I can split it one more time. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can. I'm not going to waste too much time at it. There we go. I got two pieces like that. They'll light up really easy. I'm going to set these in this box here, and then when I'm done filling this box, I'm going to set it in the house, in the vicinity of the wood stove. It's the end of September right now, and by the time I get to using this, from being in the house, it'll dry out even more. I have it in a safe distance away from the wood stove, but during the winter, the heat from the wood stove also dries it out even more. These things light up so easily in the winter time to start your fire. It's really nice. A good way to get your fire going. So here again, this time I'm going to kind of hold it. I could put it to my feet. I'm going to hold it, and you'll see when I get ready to hit the cement, I'm going to be letting go to get my hand clear of this sharp thing. It didn't go. Didn't go. There. It's stuck. So now I can just tap it into the cement. So you gotta be careful, because when it breaks through that wood, you don't want to come down and hit your ankle. I used to work in the ER. I used to see people coming in with injuries from stuff like this, and they feel stupid, rightly so. Accidents do happen. You just always have to be careful. So here again, I'm going to pick up the piece I just split, get it going. Now it is true, you can do this type of work in the wintertime when it's freezing outside. The wood does split easier, because a frozen piece of wood splits easier. The only downside is that you're a frozen person doing it, and I don't like to freeze when I'm doing stuff like this, so I'd rather do it now. See, it's going right through with a nice sharp hatchet. It doesn't take much effort once you get to a point. And you also want to try to avoid hitting the cement with the edge of this, because that doesn't do you any favors doing that either. So that's pretty much it for this video. Like and subscribe. There's going to be a lot more videos coming up. I call this channel Everything Homestead because I cover everything. Car repair, wood cutting. I have a video on how to scoop up apples off the ground. Watch that if you haven't seen that already. I've got a whole bunch of other things. I got chicken coop design plans I can show you. Built a nice chicken coop that you'll be interested to see. There's a greenhouse coming up that I'm going to be building soon. It's a one-of-a-kind thing. You want to see that? Let me know what you think of this. There's going to be a lot of wintertime videos coming up. Things you got to do to get by in the wintertime. And this is one of the things you got to do to get ready for the winter. You got to prepare for things like that. You can't just wait for the winter to come and start doing things at the last minute, because it's going to put you behind and it's going to cause lots of troubles that you don't need. But thanks for watching.